goal would be that the faculty would demonstrate a knowledge of how and when to use webinar technology integration to increase their student understanding of subject matter. Webinars are very important because they allow us to have two-way conversation with our students. We can begin by going to the desktop icon and double-clicking. This will start the software. As soon as the software has begun, we're going to schedule the webinar. And when this screen opens, the next thing that we will do is to click F11 to clear the toolbars off of our page. And then when the page opens, we're ready to begin. We can begin by choosing a seminar we have already done, or we can create a new one. So for our case, we're going to create a new one. We're going to clarify the assignment. And down in the descriptor, we're going to list that this is class 645 with 10 students expected, and it is assignment 5. So now we have some details concerning the assignment. Let's choose the date for this webinar. Let's go back and choose a day in May. Our time will be 1 p.m. and it will last 45 minutes, so it will go from 1 to 1:45 p.m. The time zone is Central Daylight Time. This is not going to be a reoccurring meeting, and now we're ready to choose our audio options. For this particular meeting, we're going to use Voice over IP. This is very clear when you're working with students at a distance. It does require a microphone and speakers or a headset. If you choose not to use the Voice over IP, you can provide a telephone number for students to call into and enter that down in the organizer's phone number. In this case, we're using the Voice over IP, so we're going to click it. We're not going to use a webinar password because this program requires a meeting ID, which will substitute for our password. There are no other organizers that will be attending, and this is not a panel discussion, so we do not need to list our panelists. We're going to save and continue to our next screen. Our next screen is simply a screen to help us with what the students will see when they log in. We can choose several pre-built templates, or we can leave it on the basic. We can upload custom images, and then once we've set this page up the way we would like it, then we set up what's called the waiting room. The waiting room is the page the students will see as soon as they log in. They can have a message there. You can upload images. We're going to select a background color, and then we are going to put in our name, the presenter's name, the presenter's title, and then we're going to enter our school or organization. So we're entering any university. This is where we can upload a picture if we wanted to submit a photo of ourselves so that the people on the other end could see what you look like if they've never seen you. And then our welcome message. So we're going to say welcome. We will begin shortly. And once you're happy with your message, you can preview your opening pages to see what the email will look like that you will be sending to the students. You can also preview your waiting page, and if all is as you would like it, you close the page and you're ready to go to the next page. This page is the information that will be on your registration form. First name, last name, email address. If you would like students to enter their local address, you may do so. I always ask for a phone number because you might need to speak with the person on that day if they have difficulty connecting to you. So we're going to require a phone number, and then we're going to ask a question. Our question is, do you have a topic selected for your paper? Let's see how many of our students have already selected a topic, but just do not know how to get started now that they have a topic. This will help us to define what the problem is. Is it getting started? Is it the title or the subject of the paper? We're going to create this question, and as you can see, we now have our question. We can preview this page and see what it's going to look like. The student's first name, last name, email address, and phone number, and our question with the drop-down yes or no. The student would now register, and then they would close the page. If you choose, you may have a redirect statement on the paper. Once the student has hit the register button, you could put in your assignment page where the student would be taken back to reread the assignment if you so choose. This is an optional feature. Let's save and email the invitation to ourselves. Now that we have emailed this to ourselves, we would open our email and forward that on to the students. On the day of the meeting, I would open back up my webinars, back to the page where we began, and I would come down to my May the 18th, and I would be ready to start my meeting, or May 24th, whatever day I so choose. The start button is located right here. Click this and your webinar will begin. If you would like to practice first, click practice, and that's all there is to starting a webinar. Now, why do I want to use this? It allows me two-way discussions with my students. It also allows me to show them information from my desktop, and it also allows my students to show information from their desktop. Let's log out. Let's take a look now at some applications. You have a class of distance students who do not understand an assignment. After several emails, you realize that clarification is needed. A real-time discussion would be best. Would you use a phone and phone each of the 25 students in the class? Or would you use a webinar?